In this video, we're going to look at a couple of different ways that you can embed a video into your Blackboard course site. So the first thing we're going to do is, in our course site, we're going to go to the place that we want to put the video. In my case, I'm going to put that under my course documents, and then I'm going to put it into my Week 1 introduction. Now there are a couple of different ways that Blackboard will let you embed a video into your course. In most cases, we're going to come up here to the Build Content button and we're going to choose Item because this has a lot of flexibility and a lot of things that we can do with it. So I'm going to click on Item. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give my item a name. In this case, I'm going to call it Video Week 1. And then if I come down here, I can use this text box to add video to my course. Now, if you are working with something like a YouTube video, there is actually a way that you can use Blackboard to embed those videos automatically. So if I come down here to this text box, right on the bottom, I'm going to see that there is a button that looks like a plus sign and a circle. Now, if you can't see that, it might be that you've got this text box minimized. So if it looks something like this with only one line of buttons, come up here to the right-hand side and you've got a More button that's going to give you a few more options. You might also find that some of these buttons look a little different in your course depending on things like the size of your screen or the window. So if you are looking to embed a video, just have a look for this button right here. It might be in a slightly different place. So this is the Add Content button, and I am going to click on that button, which is going to pull up some extra options for me. So we can see that I've got some options for putting in some files. But down here under Additional Tools, I have the option to put in a YouTube video. So if I choose that, it's going to pull up a search box. And that's going to let me look for the kind of video that I want. So in this case, I'd like a Blackboard tutorial for my students. So I'm going to do Blackboard tutorial. And that's going to give me a number of different options. So I want this one on teaching remotely, and if I come over here, I can select that video, and then I have a few different options for how that video displays in my class. The default is that it's a thumbnail, which is a somewhat smaller version of what the video will actually look like when students play it. Now, I tend to like to embed the whole video so that it looks a little larger. It looks pretty much as you would see it on YouTube, but you also have the option to just do a text link that will lead students to that video. So whatever you go with is up to you, but you do have a few different options that you can play with. In my case, I'm going to go with embed video. I do have the option of showing the YouTube URL, so if there is any kind of issue with playback, I can make that available to my students so they can always access it, but you do have the option to not have that on. And I generally like to show the YouTube information, but you can turn that off if you want to. So once you've made those choices, you can come back down here and you can click on Submit. And you can see that video has been put into my text box. And I can see it from here, and I can click on Submit. And that's in my course now. So that's an option that does work really well with YouTube videos, and we can see that it's sitting there all good and ready to go. But there are options for putting in videos from a variety of different sources in a different way. So this option, where you use something called an embed code, will actually work for YouTube videos, but it will also work for any number of other video hosting platforms that will let you share videos. So if we did want to go that route, we're going to do the same couple of initial steps that we just did. So we're going to come back up here to Build Content, and we are going to come down to Item again. So we will call this Actually, we'll call it video week 1, and that's my second video. You can name that whatever works for you. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to need a piece of code called an embed code. And that's the code that's going to let us put pretty much whatever we want from any other video hosting sites into Blackboard. So you can certainly put your YouTube videos into the course this way. So if I come up here, I have a Blackboard video already selected. And down here at the bottom, there is a share option. And it's generally the share option that you're looking for, which will give you a few different options. Now on YouTube, this defaults to the YouTube URL. But if I come up here to embed, I'm going to get a chunk of code that has some extra information in it, and that's what I'm going to need. So I could grab that here, but we can also find that embed information on other sites. So if, for instance, I wanted to show my students a video from the National Film Board, if I come down here, see that it looks slightly different here and that it's right at the bottom of the screen, but there's an embed option here that will give me, once again, that code with some extra information in it. And the same kind of thing with the CBC archives, for instance. In this case, though, we've got a share button sitting here on top of the video itself, which, again, will give me that embed option. So I can choose any of these that I want to. I think maybe I'll take the National Film Board one for right now. So I'm just going to highlight all of that code, and I'm going to copy it. Then if I come back to my course site, I'm going to look for a button that looks very similar to many of the buttons we were just using for that embed code. And if I hover over here on my screen, this is on the bottom of the row of buttons, and I'm looking for the button that says source code. What happens when I click on that is it's going to open up a new screen, and all I have to do is paste in my code. So you don't need to worry about the numbers on the side or anything like that. If I had, say, written something such as a description of my video into my item text box already, you would see that here. So all of that would be visible to you. But in this case, I just have that video code, so I'm just going to put that in, and then I'm going to click on Save. And once again, we can see that the video has showed up here. We've got a little bit of information down below about the video name and who made it and where it is from. And then if I click on Submit, once again, we can see that that's been embedded in my course. So, as I've mentioned before, this should work for any video hosting platform that gives you an embed code or lets you share videos that way. And all you need to do is grab that code and then use the Build Content option, select an item, and then use that source code button to put the code in. It's very straightforward, and it will let you put any number of different videos into your course for students to see.